Finding a fun, reliable sports car under $10,000 in 2025 sounds impossible, right? Well, think again. Whether you want something quick, stylish, or just a blast to drive, there are still some hidden gems out there. In this video, we're counting down the top 5 most fun and reliable cars you can get for under $10,000. Let's get into it. First up, we've got a car that punches way above its price tag. If you're looking for a fun, reliable sports car under $10,000, the Nissan 370Z is a no-brainer. It's got the looks, the power, and, most importantly, it won't leave you stranded on the side of the road like a questionable Facebook Marketplace deal. Whether you're a seasoned enthusiast or a first-time sports car buyer, the 370Z delivers an exciting driving experience without breaking the bank. Produced from 2009 to 2020, the Nissan 370Z is powered by the legendary VQ37, a 3.7-liter V6, making 332 horsepower in base trims and up to 350 in the Nismo edition. This naturally aspirated engine provides a linear power delivery and a satisfying exhaust note that makes every drive enjoyable. And no, you don't need the Nismo trim unless you like paying extra for a slightly different bumper, stiffer suspension, and brakes. And a few extra ponies you'll never feel in daily driving. The base and sport trims offer more than enough excitement for most drivers, and they come at a much more reasonable price point. If you want the best deal, look for 2009 to 2014 models. These have proven themselves reliable, and you can find them under $10,000 if you're willing to hunt. Prices may vary depending on mileage, condition, and location, but older models in decent shape are still out there. The 6-speed manual transmission is the enthusiast's choice, featuring Nissan's Synchro Rev Match, which automatically blips the throttle on downshifts. If you prefer an automatic, the 7-speed isn't bad, but let's be real, if you're buying a Z, you should probably shift your own gears for the full experience. As for reliability, the 370Z is pretty solid. The VQ engine is known for lasting well over 200,000 miles if you change the oil regularly and don't abuse it like a rental car. However, there are a couple of known issues to be aware of. Early models sometimes suffer from excessive oil consumption, so it's important to check the oil levels frequently. Other than some minor issues, regular maintenance and careful driving will keep your 370Z running strong for years to come. Interior quality is fine. Nissan didn't exactly go crazy with luxury, but it's a driver-focused cockpit, and that's what matters. The seats are decently supportive for spirited driving, the gauges have a sporty aesthetic, and you even get a little cubby behind the seats for storage, though it's not exactly spacious. Cargo space isn't great either, but let's be honest, you're not buying a 370Z to haul groceries. In terms of driving experience, the 370Z shines on the road and the track. It has a well-balanced chassis, responsive steering, and a low-slung seating position that makes you feel connected to the car. The ride can be a bit firm, especially on rough roads, but that's part of the sports car experience. Aftermarket support is extensive, with countless options for performance upgrades, suspension mods, and aesthetic enhancements. Just be careful. Once you start browsing Z mods, your bank account is in serious danger. Overall, the Nissan 370Z is one of the best fun, reliable sports cars under $10,000. It's quick, sounds great, and offers an engaging driving experience that few cars in this price range can match. Whether you're hitting the back roads, taking it to a track day, or just enjoying a weekend cruise, the 370Z delivers excitement without the high price tag. If you're in the market for a budget-friendly sports car with a proven track record, the 370Z should be at the top of your list. The 370Z gives you sports car looks and performance without the crazy price tag, but maybe you want something with legendary Toyota reliability and high-revving fun. That's where the Celica GTS comes in. If you're looking for something fun, reliable, and under 10 grand, the Toyota Celica GTS deserves your attention. The Celica GTS ran from 2000 to 2005 and came with Toyota's legendary 1.8-liter 2ZZGE engine, co-developed with Yamaha. What does that mean? It revs to 8,200 RPM, has 180 horsepower, and features VVTLI, Toyota's version of VTEC. So yeah, you get that satisfying power surge when you climb past 6,000 RPM. You also get a 6-speed manual transmission, which is the one you want. The automatic exists, but let's be honest, you're not buying one to take life slow. The handling is sharp, the steering is light but precise, and it only weighs around 2,500 pounds, meaning it feels nimble on the road. Toyota wasn't playing when they built this thing. It's basically a budget-friendly front-wheel drive sports car. Now, let's talk reliability. It's a Toyota, so you already know it's going to last. As long as you keep up with oil changes and basic maintenance, this car will outlive most cars on the road. That being said, the 2ZZ engine does have one weak point: the lift bolts. They tend to snap if they're not replaced, so if you're buying one, make sure that's been taken care of. Otherwise, you'll be stuck without that glorious high RPM power band. Trim-wise, you've got two options: the base GT and the GTS. The GT is fine, but it's got a weaker 1.8-liter 1ZZ engine, making only 140 horsepower. That's not bad, but why settle when you can have 40 more horses and a screaming redline? The GTS also gets better brakes, a sportier suspension, and more aggressive styling, making it the clear choice. As for the looks, the 7th gen has aged surprisingly well. It's got sharp, angular lines, a low stance, and an overall design that still turns heads. It's like Toyota saw the early 2000s and said, "Yeah, we're making something that'll still look good decades later." It's also got a hatchback design, meaning you get decent cargo space for a sports car. What about price? You can find a solid GTS under $10,000, but you'll need to hunt a little. Prices are creeping up since enthusiasts are realizing how good these cars are. The ones with lower mileage and good maintenance history will cost more, but they're worth it. Avoid heavily modified ones unless you know what you're looking at. There's always that one guy who thought he needed 300 horsepower with stock internals. Spoiler, it didn't. So, if you want a car that's lightweight, high revving, and doesn't break down every other weekend, this is a solid choice. It's got Toyota reliability, a fun power band, and it won't bankrupt you. Just find one with a clean history, replace those lift bolts, and enjoy one of the best budget-friendly sports cars out there. The Celica GTS is lightweight and agile, but if you want something with a little more practicality and V-Tech screaming past 8,000 RPM, the Honda Civic Si is the move. Produced from 2006 to 2011, this little front-wheel drive warrior packs Honda's legendary reliability with just enough performance to keep things interesting. Under the hood, you get the K20Z3, a 2.0-liter, naturally aspirated four-cylinder that revs to a screaming 8,000 RPM. It cranks out 197 horsepower and 139 foot-pounds of torque. Nothing crazy by today's standards, but this car isn't about raw power. It's about engagement. Combination of high-revving V-Tech and a lightweight chassis makes for a thrilling driving experience, rewarding those who love to wring out every last RPM. The only transmission option? A 6-speed manual with one of the best-feeling shifters in any car, ever. No CVTs, no automatics, just pure driver involvement. Honda engineered the gearbox to be crisp and precise, making every shift an event. The clutch is light but offers good feedback, making it an easy car to learn for new manual drivers while still being engaging for seasoned enthusiasts. There are two body styles, a coupe and a sedan. The coupe is the go-to if you want a sportier look, while the sedan gives you some extra practicality without losing the fun factor. Either way, you get a limited slip differential, which helps put power down and makes cornering way more predictable. This is a huge plus, especially for a front-wheel drive performance car, as it minimizes understeer and maximizes traction when accelerating out of corners. Inside, the Civic Si gives you sporty yet comfortable bolstered seats, a digital speedometer sitting above an analog tachometer, and just enough tech to remind you that Honda still cared about enthusiasts back then. No touchscreens or gimmicky drive modes. Just a car that wants to be driven. The interior materials are decent for its class, with soft-touch plastics and an ergonomic layout. It's a car that doesn't try too hard to be luxurious, but instead focuses on being functional and driver-oriented. Now the bad news. These things have been thrashed by generations of wannabe street racers, so finding one in good shape takes patience. Common issues? The infamous third gear grind in the transmission. If the previous owner didn't baby it, expect to deal with it. Also check for oil consumption, especially on higher mileage models. The K20Z3 is known to burn oil when pushed hard, so checking service records is crucial. Additionally, many of these cars have been modified, sometimes poorly, so a thorough inspection is necessary to avoid future headaches. But if you find one that's been taken care of, you're looking at a car that delivers V-Tech fun while still being practical and reliable. The Civic Si strikes an impressive balance between daily usability and weekend fun, making it a solid choice for enthusiasts on a budget. Would I buy one under $10,000? Absolutely. Would I expect it to be perfect? No. But for a car that blends fun, reliability, and affordability, the 8th Gen Civic Si is a fantastic option for those looking to enjoy driving without breaking the bank. The Civic Si is a tuner favorite, but maybe you're looking for a little more comfort without sacrificing fun. Say hello to the Acura TL Type-S, a luxury sedan with serious performance chops. Let's take a trip back to 2007. Flip phones are cool, MySpace is thriving. Acura just dropped a car that could actually give the Germans a run for their money without draining your bank account. I'm talking about the Acura TL Type-S, a car that somehow nails that perfect balance between performance and practicality. The Acura TL Type-S is one of those rare cars that can blend luxury and performance like peanut butter and jelly. Under the hood, a 3.5-liter V6 engine that cranks out 286 horsepower and 256 pound-feet of torque. And look, I know what you're thinking. 286 horsepower? Puffed. That's cute. But hold up. This is a naturally aspirated engine we're talking about, folks. No turbos, no superchargers, just pure, unfiltered Honda engineering at its best. And here's the kicker. It's stupidly easy to squeeze more power out of this thing. But before we dive into that, let's take a minute to appreciate how this car somehow manages to be both refined and a little unhinged at the same time. Now, if you're into driving dynamics, this car won't disappoint. It's got a sport-tuned suspension, upgraded brakes, and wait for it, a limited slip differential. That's right, this front-wheel drive sedan is actually trying to put its power down in a way that doesn't leave you understeering into the nearest tree. And the steering? Oh, it's sharp. Sharp enough to make you forget you're in a family sedan, not a race car. Inside, you'll find heated leather seats, carbon fiber trim, and a premium audio system that'll make even your most questionable playlists sound like Grammy winners. But let's be honest here. You're not here to talk about cup holders and fancy leather. No, you're here because you've heard the TL Type-S is a tuner's dream. And oh boy, it really is. The J35 V6 engine is part of Honda's legendary J-Series family, which means aftermarket parts are practically raining down on you. Cold air intakes, exhaust systems, ECU tunes, you name it. Someone's probably made a kit for it. Want 350 horsepower? Piece of cake with some basic bolt-ons. Feeling a little wild? Add a supercharger, and you'll be pushing over 500 horsepower. The TL Type-S has a potential that's as big as your imagination and maybe your wallet. But let's not forget, this isn't just about straight line speed. It's about balance. You can take this car to a track day and surprise some guys in their European sedans, then drive it home in comfort with the heated seats keeping your butt warm. And hey, let's talk about design for a second. The TL Type-S is sharp, but not in your face. It's got quad exhaust tips and 17-inch wheels. It turns heads, sure, but in a subtle, I've got class kind of way. It's the ultimate sleeper car. Now, no car is perfect, and the TL Type-S has its quirks. Some models had issues with the automatic transmission. Yeah, there was a 6-speed manual option, but good luck finding one of those. And let's not forget, this is a car from the mid-2000s, so don't expect tech like Apple CarPlay or lane keeping assist. But honestly, who cares? You're here for the driving experience, not to play Candy Crush on the infotainment screen. The TL Type-S is an underrated sleeper, but if you're looking for raw American muscle with a legendary V8, there's only one way to go: the C5 Corvette. If you're hunting for serious acceleration on a budget, the C5 Corvette is about as good as it gets. For under $10,000, you're getting a car that is really fast because, let's be honest, this thing was doing supercar numbers when it dropped in the late 90s. It was America's answer to high-priced European performance, offering jaw-dropping acceleration, razor-sharp handling, and a driving experience that still holds up today. Under the hood, you've got the legendary LS1, a 5.7-liter V8 pumping out 345 horsepower and 350 foot-pounds of torque. That's enough to launch this fiberglass rocket from 0 to 60 in just 4.5 seconds. And that's bone stock. Throw a few bolt-ons at it and you're dipping into the low fours. Not bad for a car that costs less than some people's insurance premiums. The LS1 is one of the most beloved and mod-friendly engines ever made. With just cams and a tune, you can easily push past 400 horsepower, all while keeping the reliability that LS engines are famous for. The C5 was a game-changer for the Corvette lineup. It ditched the old-school leaf springs, got a proper transaxle layout for better weight distribution, and for the first time, Corvette owners didn't have to lie about their car handling well. This thing actually grips. It's lightweight, well-balanced, and surprisingly refined, until you mash the throttle and all that refinement gets drowned out by the sound of an angry V8 echoing off every building in a 3-block radius. The steering is responsive, the chassis is stiff, and the car communicates what's happening on the road better than many people expect from an American sports car of its era. And here's the thing, this car is underrated. Everyone talks about the C6 and C7, but the C5 is the one quietly lurking in the background. It's got pop-up headlights, a targa top, and a 6-speed manual option. What more do you want? It's a piece of automotive history, yet it hasn't reached the status of earlier generations, making it one of the best performance bargains on the market. And that's a wrap. 5 awesome, fun, and reliable cars you can still score for under $10,000. Whether you're into JDM legends, luxury sleepers, or classic American performance, there's something here for everyone. Which one would you take home? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss what's next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.